You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 326 for Sunday the 2nd of August 2020.
Where dreams begin.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jayne.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we today?
We is good. As
Good.
if we're talking in the royalist term, like I'm not referring to myself as a single entity. But no, I'm doing all right, lovey. How are you?
Yeah, just enjoying the little burst of sunshine that we seem to be experiencing in Great Britain for, we've got our 2 days of summer, I think is probably suffice to say at the moment.
Yeah. I've been a bit busy. I had my daughter's birthday, which was incredibly busy. When you're a parent of multiples, i.e. twins, you always endeavour to make each child to feel unique and special, because we all know what it's like if you have to share your birthday with Auntie Dottie and Auntie Dottie gets all the limelight and you're in the shadow. So even when they were like babies, I've always strived to treat them as individuals. They've always had different outfits, even though the family kept on buying them identical things because it was cute. The christening cake was a yin and yang cake, so it was two cakes that were made out of a circle but separated in a wavy pattern, and they both had their own separate side. And every year I've tended to do their own birthday cake, and this year I said to them, right girls, tell me what you want. Mainly because I had the time this year, because obviously normally I would have been working. Emily went with an Oreo cheesecake, and I bought Oreos that were birthday cake flavour.
Birthday cake flavour Oreos?
Basically, they had sprinkles in the icing in the middle.
Oh, okay.
And that was so simple to make. Oh my God, it must have had 10 billion calories in. With all the sugar and the cream cheese and the melted chocolate, nowhere near keto, but the top part did actually taste very reminiscent of a Disney treat. Could you think which one?
Oh, I don't know. Disney treat, like cheesecakey treat. I don't know.
Well, maybe if I give you the clue of ask the dishes, it's delicious.
Oh, the grey stuff.
Yeah, because it did look like the grey stuff. And the tiny little bit I managed to tasted like the grey stuff. Anyway, she was chuffed to happiness with that. And I attempted a chocolate vegan cake for Bryony with peanut buttercream icing. And that also went down very well. We took it down to where she lived, and all her housemates were sort of coming out for a socially distanced slice, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, they had a good day. It was nice to have them both in the same place on the same day and be able to do it, because a few weeks earlier we wouldn't have been able to do it.
No, it's very true. A little bit of normality.
Yeah. So, over the last week, have you had any drizzlings of Disney in your life?
Not really, love, no. It's been kind of a bit, Although we have been catching up on Disney Plus, the little shorts, I think they're called shorts, aren't they? They're only like 3-5 minute little clips, and they're looking at different people within the Disney family. So it's everybody from, there was a sound effects guy we saw, and an animator, and a guy who was a scuba diver at Disneyland.
Ooh.
Which was fascinating, because you think he's a scuba diver at Disneyland, and you start to think about it. And his job was going out at night to scuba dive to check all the water rides. So actually going like in the Jungle Cruise and checking all the mechanics and everything, but in pitch black, which I thought was fascinating. So actually we've been catching up on those, and they're quite nice little, like, if you just want something to watch but you haven't got an awful lot of time, it's just like a little infill, a little bit of past the time. So yeah, I think they're called Disney Shorts, but they're kind of like a nice little taster. So we have caught those just recently.
Very good. I sort of binged on Netflix something called Mindhunter, which was
Oh,
about
yeah.
the early days of the behavioural science unit of the FBI, but dramatised.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. At times, I didn't like the route it was going. It was like, oh, for God's sake, just get to the main story. But yeah, I loved it, really enjoyed it. So that was one. And then I've started on all of these travel ones. Maybe I'm missing travel.
Maybe. You do know there's a Disney connection to Mindhunter, though, don't you?
Go on.
Well, do you know the name of the actor who stars in Mindhunter?
No.
Jonathan Groff.
Right.
Who is in Hamilton. He plays the king in Hamilton.
Ah.
And he also is the voice of Sven.
Ah.
There you are, you see. You didn't know you were watching a kind of a Disney-linked thing when you were watching it.
No, I didn't.
See, I have useless information going around in my old noggin from time to time.
You do, darling. You do.
Just the heat getting to me.
Yeah. I went and booked a trip.
You've booked a trip?
Yeah.
When and where and and what and whom and...
Oh, I've been missing my Disney, so I've been looking so much at the Disneyland Paris videos and everything coming out of there, and we are going to digress into it in a few moments to talk about Disneyland Paris, but I just felt, you know what, it's probably safer in Disneyland Paris than it is in my local supermarket, because Disneyland Paris, 100% you've got to wear a mask. Local supermarket, you don't, because whilst they say you're meant to wear a mask, it's like Russian roulette because not everybody is. So I feel that I'd be safer there. I'm travelling down in my own car, going on the channel. I'm not having to sort of run the gauntlet with aeroplanes and all of that lot. I get in my car, get down to Paris, stay in my hotel, go to DLP, mask wearing completely. Look, I'm going to have like a 10-gallon tin in the back of my car of antibacterial gel and wipes for wiping down surfaces as I may have to touch them, for example, on attractions and things. But yeah. So not until October, so by then you've no idea what the world will be like. It may get cancelled, it may not, but if it gets cancelled, I get my money back.
Yes, that's true.
I just reschedule, so you know, I'm feeling pretty confident about it. So, and I'm sure over the next few weeks I might start revealing some more details. But we're going to come back to Paris, but we've got a couple of Disney history items that you've managed to dig up for us, haven't you?
Yeah, so a little quiz for you, Michelle, then.
Okay.
As you do it to me all the time, I'll do it to you. So go back to 1933. I know you weren't born, so don't, you know.
You mentioned 1933. My mind just heard 33, Club 33, nice lunch, nice place to be, exclusive. You see.
Yeah, you know, that's how your brain works, isn't it? You mention a number and you think of food.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so on 3rd of August in 1933, how much do you think a Disney watch was?
Well, I don't want to tell you how much my iWatch with Mickey Mouse was on, but seems you're mentioning it.
It's $2.31.
I won't tell you how much that one was, so I imagine this one was probably a little bit cheaper.
Probably take some zeros off it for starters.
Yeah, true. Move the decimal point.
Yeah. $3.25. And then it got lowered.
Really?
To $2.95. That's a big chunk. That's a big lowering, isn't it? If you think about it, percentage-wise.
I imagine that watch, though, if you have it in your possession, probably will be worth more than the one I've got on my wrist.
I'm going to say there might be quite a few zeros to add back onto that price, mightn't there?
True. Okay, well, that's something that surprised me. I obviously wasn't around in 1933 to buy a Disney watch, so...
Quite, yeah. So, shall we move on a little tad?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go forward a few years to 1955. So this is the date of birth for a voice artist by the name of Corey Burton. He was born in Granada Hills in California, and he's done loads of voices for lots of different theme park attractions. So he was the Disney's timekeeper, recreated the late Paul Frees ghost host for the Disneyland's Haunted Mansion Holiday. He's done the voice of Captain Hook in Disney's Return to Neverland. He's worked on animated features like Aladdin, Lion King and Hercules and Mulan and The Incredibles. And yeah, the list just kind of goes on and on and on. He's one of those quintessential Disney voice artists that you've probably heard and don't realise you've actually heard his voice. He's even done some TV work on like the Mickey Mouse Club as Ludwig von Drake, and even on Jake and the Neverland Pirates, which I watch quite often at preschool. So I'll have to listen out now and recognise that I do know one of the voices in it, as well as Doc Hudson for the Cars video games. Random. But yeah, very prolific voiceover artist there.
And obviously 1955 is a very special year.
Yes. The Disneyland year.
Absolutely. And neither of us were alive at that point.
No.
Because we're mere specks on the planet.
We're babies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Maybe in mind alone, anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, my mind wandered off to Tokyo this week.
Why?
Well, we all know Disneyland Tokyo reopened on the 1st of July and quite a few of its restaurants remained closed. And some of these have reopened, and there's one in particular that I want to put an idea to you about how it should be in Disneyland and Walt Disney World and Paris.
Okay.
Because this is... I just don't understand why Disney aren't doing it over here for a start, you know, at those American parks.
Yeah.
But at the Crystal Palace restaurant, they have a dessert-only buffet.
That's very sensible.
Exactly. You know, yes, they have dessert parties. And I will be honest, the dessert parties in Walt Disney World, you're looking at nearly $100. And I think that is extortionately expensive. Yes, you get a nice viewing area of whatever show when the shows are on, which aren't happening at the moment. But at the moment, I think desserts are a very easy way that a buffet system could be organised in the theme parks, because you could have a QR code leading you to a virtual menu or a disposable menu if you're not able to utilise smart technology, and you could have all of these desserts that are numbered, and you can just say, right, I'll have a number 1, a number 5, a number 7. And they bring you trays of your desserts. Most desserts are single serve, or the ones that they could select a single serve. So, for example, over in the Crystal Palace in Tokyo, I've got the picture in front of me. They have those little gorgeous little green man mochi that they have.
Yes, yeah.
They can be put on a plate as single serve and brought to you.
Okay.
You know, little plastic Tupperwares with panna cotta and mousse on top and a mini bow.
Cute.
Mini cupcakes. The list is endless of all the little mini things that they can bring to you this way, utilising the smart technology. You know, you could have like churros, little tubs of popcorn, all of the favourite sweet things. Mickey waffles, for heaven's sake. It's just brilliant, Michelle.
Are we trademarking this, are we?
Well, I don't understand why they can't. You know, they could even use the Crystal Palace building in the Magic Kingdom. Over in Tokyo, they're only charging you, can you believe this, just under $29.
Wow.
But I think that even will have a massive profit margin on it.
Well, especially it's only little mini pieces that they're giving you.
Yeah, and how much of a sugar coma would you be in after, say, maybe 5 or 6 pieces?
You might want to go back for seconds or thirds or fourths or fifths.
You just go back to your smartphone and diddy-do-do-do-do, and then
and
they
more
bring you
appears.
more.
Yeah. Very civilised.
Absolutely. And I do see this as the way forward with your buffets. and I think as a Disney fan, I would like this because you can get your little mini cupcakes with your nice little Disney touches on it. It's very reminiscent of the brunch I had at Paolo on the Disney Cruise Line, where you go to the table and there are all these single serve little desserts in little containers, and it's not like, oh, I'll just slice myself a piece of cake. It's already done for you.
Yeah, and I suppose as well, because desserts sometimes it's like, you might go, oh, well, I'd like that, and I'd like that, and I'd like the other one. Oh, which one do I choose? Well, this kind of gets rid of that, doesn't it? I can have a small bit of that, and a small bit of that, and a small bit of that.
And I can imagine people going nuts for it if you start putting in themed things like the Snow White cupcake or the Ariel cupcake or, even mini funnel cakes, for heaven's sake. I just think this is a great idea. I think I'm pitching it to you now, Disney. Come on, think of how we can make this new revitalised buffet happening. But listeners, what do you think? Do you think this is a great idea? Because I'm sold.
No, I would agree, Michelle. I think it's and potentially one of the things that's going to come out of our current situation is little innovations like this are going to become more and more widespread and more acceptive of how we do things in the future going forward.
Yeah. And it's being creative with it. For example, saw on Twitter the other day, the Polite Pig, who I have been converted to after an initial rocky first visit last year. I had some amazing meals there.
Yeah.
They are doing a special promotion called Bite 30.
Okay.
It's a fixed price menu for $30.
Oh, yeah.
Eating or takeaway, $35.
Right.
I don't understand why you pay more to take it out.
Is it because you're having to give you special containers to take it out?
Yeah, but if you're eating in, you're going to have sanitisation of the tables and all of that malarkey.
You thought it would be the other way around, actually. You'd think they'd probably want to encourage people to go away, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, I haven't yet seen what the Bite 30 menu is, but it says you can pick a first, second and third course, and each course has 3 items from their menu.
Right.
So maybe it changes, I don't know. All I do know is that I've got the menu up in front of me, and dependent what it is, you could really do a good piece of value here. I would recommend going hungry. Thinking about a starter, if it was on their menu, they have pretzels, wings, meatballs, sliders and pork rinds, ranging between $9 and $15 for a starter.
Yeah.
So there is something there. Obviously, barbecue meatballs. Hello. Hello. That just sounds like me all over. I'm not sure about the main meals, what they could do, whether there is an option of a salad, a sandwich, or something from the smoker, which they're famous for. But again, prices range from about $13 up to about $23 for the baby back ribs.
Yeah, perhaps they'll give like a selection, sort of, from each of those so rather than being the full menu, maybe a squished down version.
Well, it said 3 options, so I'm just keeping all crossed that they do their prime brisket, which is amazing. But even so, going and getting a piece of salmon from that, and it comes with sides.
That's true, yeah.
There's a lot of food there, and then you get to choose a dessert.
Of course, yeah.
And they have all sorts of cakes, but they also have a really good, massive cookie.
Ah.
So it's enticing. At the moment, this special menu is only on through to the 16th of August. So if you are local and you're planning a trip down to Disney Springs and you do try it out, please send us some food pictures because it just sounds amazing. Really good value. And I'm now drooling. That's all I can think about. Sorry.
So it'd be interesting to see whether or not how well it goes down, whether it's something that they then continue with, isn't it?
Yeah, because I would imagine, I know from restaurants over here, they're having a special promotion where you can have half off throughout a certain time period. You know, our favourite place, Billy Bob's, is doing a special promotion so many days a week where you can go and have half off your meal to encourage people to try and get to eat out again. And it just brings a little bit of normality back into your life after feeling so isolated and not going and eating out. You know, admittedly, I've not bitten the bullet and eaten out yet, but I will do at one point.
Yeah, no, well, I'm the same. I've had no reason to, so therefore I haven't. But yeah, you can appreciate that these businesses need to entice us back in some way or the other. And obviously, that's quite a nice thing that we've got over happening in the UK at the moment. And say with the US, if it's kind of putting on special offers that make people want to go out, isn't it? It's all necessary to keep those businesses up and flourishing.
Yeah. So looking forward to hearing from you guys if you manage a trip to Disney Springs. So we said we were going to talk about Disneyland Paris this week.
Right, okay.
So it's been open a few weeks now.
Yeah.
And it's a phased reopening. Not everywhere is open as yet.
No.
You've got the parks open.
Yeah.
Disney Village. Disney's Newport Bay Club Hotel. And I believe some others are coming online very, very shortly. And they're following guidance from the French government, health authorities, and from what I have seen from the vloggers that have been there, it is looking really reassuring that you've got, you know, your plexiglass queues. You've got your areas where you can sanitize. You've got your anti-bac areas. You've got all of that put in place so that you feel safe. And obviously the capacity's shrunk because at Disneyland Paris as well, you have to book to be able to go. Yes,
it's a book your day job, isn't it?
They have announced that they've got coming back Lion King, Rhythms of the Pride Lands and Jungle Book Jive. And these were biggies from last year. They're coming back later this summer, so all crossed for my trip. And there's going to be all sorts of new bits and pieces coming up over the next sort of 6 months as this phased return occurs. So it sounds really, really good.
Yeah, I must admit, we never got to see Rhythms of the Pride Lands last year because it was just so popular and the queues to get in to see it were like unbelievable. But the Jungle Book Jive was a really cute parade, and from what I've seen, I think they're doing this over in the studios when it starts up again in middle of August, and it's going to be where they used to do the stunt show in that area. So it's going to be like a stage show, but as a parade, but in a very, obviously, rather than it being throughout the park, because it got very busy, because it would all happen around the hub in front of the castle. So by putting it into an auditorium effectively, it's going to be a lot easier to manage and space out people, I would have thought, from that health and safety aspect.
And it's outdoor.
Yeah.
There's some exciting things coming up. Earlier on in the year, they appointed a gentleman called Dr. Nicholas Duport, and he joined the Paris team as a medical doctor for the resort. And he's the guy who is responsible for preventative health measures for everybody, for the resort's cast members, and he's working alongside Dr. Warmberg to make sure that safety is at the paramount. And Dr. Duport received his master in epidemiology at the University of Nancy. And, you know, it's nice to know that they're taking on board top of their field people, because this guy studied in the French equivalent of the CDC.
Right, got you, yeah. So he knows his stuff then.
Absolutely. I think that's why I'm feeling so secure with my trips from what I'm seeing, that Paris is looking like a place that you would feel comfortable going.
I mean, I'm a bit like you, Michelle. From the bits of, you know, the video and the vlogs that I've seen, you know, it doesn't look overtly busy, which is good, so that social distancing can be maintained. They took their time with the whole reopening as well. They didn't seem to like just, you know, literally flick a switch. They seem to have taken the time and thought about it and put measures in place. And I know there was a few, you know, soft opening days and all that sort of thing, to make sure that what they're doing is right for everybody and keeping everybody as safe as they possibly can.
Which is great to hear.
Definitely.
So from looking along, and you hit the nail on the head a few moments ago, there is no parades.
Yes.
But you do intermittently throughout the day see a cascade, a mini cascade. It might just be a character in a carriage coming down Main Street. But you have got this access still to the characters, and oh my word, the numbers of different characters I've seen, whether they're on balconies, raised areas, or ones that you can take a selfie with from behind a rope. I am so impressed. I didn't think I would see this wide range of character opportunities.
No, I must admit, Michelle, I mean, say all the different bits and bobs I've seen, that's one thing I've been really impressed with. I was only actually talking to Simon about it today and saying it highlights as well the calibre of the performers, because they're having to perform their characters that would ordinarily be meeting and greeting people up close and personal. And for example, I saw a bit of video with Snow White and Dopey, and they are remote. They're on the wishing well, and they're doing all whatever they need to do, and the posing, the looking and watching what people are doing with cameras, and holding all those poses, and holding the face in that certain, whimsical smile that Snow White has, and thinking normally she'd be talking to little girls and, interacting with guests, and she'd get a break from being on show. Whereas actually now they're having to be on show without being able to speak. And, it's all through their body actions and how they present themselves. And I think it's testament to the cast members how good they're making this, and the fact that, that you are seeing characters all about, and they've got set up all these little selfie spots and different ways to meet the characters. I mean, Paris has always been good anyway, hasn't it, for the variety of characters that you can see out and about.
Yeah. For example, Daisy meeting in the bandstand area of Town Square, or there's Wild West Minnie Mouse over in Frontierland. The characters are there for you to go and interact with and meet. Walt Disney Studios, oh my word, the Marvel meet. Did you see that?
Oh, I've not seen the Marvel one, no.
Okay, well, they have two different Marvel characters, so it could be Spider-Man and Captain America together. Big Marvel logo backdrop. And they are, behind a rope, and you sort of progress along, and there are different characters that you could come across. So you might just have them on one backdrop, and then maybe the next one you might have Thor and Spider-Man. And when you've done that, you might want to go later on in the day, and you might get a different quartet of characters. But they're there play fighting or doing what their character would do.
Ah, cool.
And you can sort of try and do a selfie, or just get some character pictures yourself, because I do like to get pictures just of the characters. I don't always want my mushing in the picture.
Well, yeah, and if they are doing these like little mini performances, so you're getting some really good poses and interactions between the characters themselves, and that's great to be able to capture those on camera, and it kind of makes it more than just a snap your photo and move on as well, doesn't it?
Some of these meets are just walk up and wait in a socially distanced manner. Some of them you have to book through an app called Line Bertie. So if you are going to Disneyland Paris, please ensure before you go you do download that so it's available for you. But my favourite, Jayne, we love Mickey and the Magician here, don't we?
Oh, amazing show.
Well, the show's not running.
No.
But characters are on the stage, and you can sort of do a walk by and do a selfie with them in the background. How awesome! That is so good. Yeah,
amazing.
And that would be an idea for perhaps Walt Disney World to do with the Beauty and the Beast show.
Ah, yeah. Well, I think, again, it's looking, isn't it? I know we were talking earlier about, the restaurant and Tokyo and everything, but I think it is looking at different and innovative ways to get what we used to get, but in a safer way to do it. And it's great that if the different parks around the world try out different things, and then they can all adopt what's working to their current layouts and setups and what have you. So if there are ways that we can get these character meets and greets working, or replacing a show or whatever it may well be, then that's got to be a good thing.
Captain Jack is by his restaurant on the balcony above.
Aha.
And for the frozen meats, oh my word, Sven, Olaf, Anna, Elsa. I've forgotten the name of the reindeer.
Yes, no, I have as well. Now you've said it to me like that.
Oh, brain gone to mush. It'll come back to me. So there's all of that available as well. It just, so exciting. So exciting. And as you're coming into the park or leaving the park, both parks have characters that wave goodbye intermittently. So there's the Walt Disney Studios as you're going in, looking down in the eatery area, looking down as you walk past them, or the train station in Disneyland. So I don't think character hunters will be feeling too disappointed in Disneyland Paris.
No, and say all the bits and bobs that I've seen, it kind of feels like they're maybe pushing the boat out a bit to make sure that the characters are out and about a lot more than they've always been out and about anyway, but it feels like it's getting reported a lot, which implies that it's happening a lot more and that people are really taking advantage of those moments.
So let's go on to our favourite topic.
Is that food, Michelle?
Yeah, of course. Well, one of the key things that you've got to think about with Disneyland Paris, it is not Walt Disney World and Disneyland. No, it is a different beast with the food. But you need to know how you're going to be able to gain access to said food if you are going on a trip.
Yes.
Now, at the moment, there is a long list of restaurants that are available offering quick service, if you like.
Right.
You've got the Market House Deli, Casey's Corner, Last Chance Cafe, Funto del Oro, which has never been open when we've been.
No, I don't think it has when I've been either.
Cowboy Cookout Barbecue, Colonel Hathis, Restaurant Hakuna Matata, Au Chalet de Marionette, Pizza Bellanotte and Cathay Hyperion. Notice our favourite, Mr. Toad's, is not on that list.
No, it's not, is it? Yeah.
Which was a bit of a surprise for me, but there's plenty of places there, and if Disneyland Paris are going to have them open, there is a wide variety of palate-pleasing options there for people.
Yeah, we're hitting all the major ones, aren't we?
Yeah. Now, Paris does have quite a fair choice of all-you-can-eat restaurants, and they are still offering this bit availability at Restaurant Agrabah Cafe and the Plaza Gardens, and it uses the system I was talking about earlier, where you choose what food you want and they bring it to you.
Okay, yeah. Obviously saving the whole everybody in for themselves at a buffet, yeah.
Table service restaurants inside the park, you've got Captain Jack's.
Yeah.
Which is obviously inside the Pirates of the Caribbean. So there's a lovely atmosphere, very seafoody.
Yes.
And I did have a bad experience there. It's not one I would probably go back to.
Okay.
Silverspur Steakhouse is open up again. Nice steak and chips. You can't go wrong with a bit of steak.
True.
And then the Lucky Nugget. Now, they're classing this as kind of a character interaction. It's a €49 meal. And it's a set 3-course. There's like a salad to start with, a rib, drumstick, sausage, corn on the cob combo for your main, and then an ice cream sundae for your dessert. There's a 15-minute stage show on the stage with Mickey and Minnie and so on.
Okay.
But €49, and I looked at a video showing the food and I just thought, you could go somewhere like the Cowboy Cookout and get the same thing for €20.
Yeah.
So that's maybe not one for me.
Yeah, it's a bit pricey, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So that's looking over at Disneyland. Looking at Walt Disney Studios, the choice here obviously is a little bit less. The park is a lot smaller. You've got Restaurant en Coulisses as your sort of like burger place.
Yeah.
And then sit-down table service, you've got Bistro Cher Ami.
Ah.
And I would like to just sort of spend a moment or two talking about this restaurant because it's one that I had planned to go with Kat and Lewis.
Of course, yes.
So I'm kind of familiar with the prices and they have gone up the odd euro or two.
Right. How much odd euro or two?
I could have sworn that the basic menu, the entry point restaurant menu, was €31 and it's gone up to $33.99.
Okay.
But, you know, it's a set 2-course menu where you get a mixed green salad with a poached egg, various bits of salady stuff, or a soup. Your mains are steak, ratatouille and fries. Or you can have cod, or you can have a vegetable tofu dish. You can go up to a 3-course and that's $41.99.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go up to their top menu. And this menu is €62.99. The food is just of a little bit higher quality here, like they start with a guinea fowl terrine with truffles and purple fig jam.
Yeah.
This is the place, if you are going on a dining plan, that you will get your value for money from.
With money, yeah.
So yeah, I think I will be eating there, definitely. It's lovely environment. I don't think for a special meal €34 is too ridiculous.
No, definitely not. It's as you say, it and it is one where you kind of paying as well a little bit for the uniqueness of how it's laid out and how it's created and the atmosphere and the visuals as well, aren't you?
True. And don't forget, as you're wandering around, there are still some places where you can pick up a crepe, pick up a waffle, have something sugary as you wander around.
Yeah.
And I did actually forget off the Disneyland menus that there's Victoria's. They serve their very exclusive milkshakes at €11 and little petite pastries at about €6 for 2 or 3.
Okay.
So that's one to definitely look at. But because you've got Studios, Disneyland and the Village so close, it's so easy to pop out and go down to Disney Village and have something to eat there as well.
Very true, yeah. As long as Earl Sandwich is open, we'll be all right.
Yeah, and me Starbucks. Don't forget me Starbucks.
Oh, no, true. Starbucks, of course.
So it's all sounding very, very positive right now. So fingers crossed things keep this way.
Yeah, definitely.
I know a lot of our listeners have got Disneyland Paris trips coming up. I can't wait to hear some of your planning tips and secrets that you have got from your trips that you are planning. Right, well, let's wrap up this week's podcast. If you wish to contact us, it's at DisDreamGirls on Twitter and Instagram. Email info@DisneyDreamGirls.com. And I just want to have a little bit of a shout out to Alan Sirier, sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly, who sent me a little email this week about the Disney's True Life Adventures, The Living Desert. You know, we mentioned on the mountain show. He found the video on eBay for me. How amazing.
Fantastic.
So thank you for getting in touch on there. I would also like to say a big thank you to each and every one of our Patreon supporters who have continued to put in a little bit of money into our Patreon, and in return during July they got 2 exclusive never to be heard anywhere else shows. They can also get early access to the shows, and they are going to be getting a little bit of a dining special in the next couple of days to kick off August's content. So thank you, Patreons. We very much appreciate you. If you want to find out more, it's patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. Last but not least, I'm going to mention our Disney Dream Girls podcast family. Search us up on Facebook, answer the joining questions, and then be prepared to share your Disney-driven life with us. And we do a little bit of a fun quiz on a Sunday as well, which is plodding on and having a lot of fun, Jayne.
Yes, and I think I go from worst to worst each week, yeah.
But it's about just joining by, having a little bit of a chit-chat, keeping in touch with each other, a lot of fun. So
yeah, it is,
if you haven't already checked that out, please do so. But anyway, until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.